Going to take a sin off right away for only having one logo at the start, which is less than 10 seconds long. Why aren't Bond movies like this? Careful, DuckTales, your Indiana Jones is showing.
You mean you never took flying lessons?
How the hell did Scrooge not already know this from knowing Launchpad for 3 years? Also, I understand your issue with this Scrooge, but you hired him. And I know that was probably because he was cheap, but you still got on the plane he was flying and trusted him to keep you alive.
You think it might have the treasure of Alibaba and its 40 thieves?
Alibaba wasn't a thief in the story this is a reference to. I'm surprised these ancient pillars haven't collapsed already with it being so unstable. What is the point of deploying the landing gear when you know the plane is upside down? The thieves just happen to be recovering the chest when the McDucks arrive. Scrooge and his nephews can definitely see what's in the chest right here, but they don't react until the audience can see what's in it. Why did Alibaba bury his laundry?
Perhaps this time I'll let Scrooge do the searching for me.
Wait, so that wasn't actually your plan before? Well then why were you just standing idly on a rock face watching Scrooge opening that chest? Huey, Dewey and Louie all ride the same camel purely for the sake of giving us a comedic image. Also, 3-humped camels don't exist. Why does Launchpad kick the top of the pyramid? I get that he thinks it's just a regular rock, but when would you ever kick a rock?
It's bigger than it looks!
Wouldn't it make more sense for Dewey to just say, there's more of it buried under the sand? Even with 3 adults and 4 kids digging, I find it hard to believe they would have been able to uncover a structure this big before passing out from heat exhaustion. Also, given how long they must have been digging for, what's Merlock been doing all this time? Convenient torches right by the entrance to ancient tombs are convenient. Launchpad doesn't actually press the switch that sets off this trap. Also, this trap would have burnt Launchpad alive if he hadn't tripped at the exact moment it was set off. Louis opens the Junior Woodchuck's guidebook to exactly the right page. Why is the weight of a marble enough to set off a trap meant for a fully grown person?
Just keep the light ahead of us, guide.
Scrooge is a dick for guides. Why does this trapdoor open? Is it part of the trap Dijon set off?
Oh, the money, the rubies, the diamonds, the lamp.
Scrooge announces his discovery in this way, just so Dijon can make this dramatic reveal. Louis somehow doesn't notice this huge fall into the abyss until right before falling off it.
Ugh, just an old oil lamp.
We find out later that Scrooge knows about the concept of magic lamps having genies in them, so why didn't it occur to him that this lamp might have one?
You think you can carry it, Launchpad?
Couldn't he and Dijon carry it together? This rope bridge must be doused in petrol to burn so quickly.
Too bad you and your friends will not live to know the real treasure you have found.
None of Scrooge's family think to question what Merlock means by this. Launchpad apparently thinks a large wicker bowl will be enough to protect them from attack by giant scorpions.
If you don't stop crashing, I'll give you the heave-ho.
Oh, come on, be fair, Scrooge. He can't even see where he's going.
Let's turn this over and make a boat.
Yeah, but last time I checked, wicker baskets weren't watertight. Besides, there's a hole in it.
Well, where is it?
Didn't Dijon help them bag up the treasure? How could he not have double-checked that the lamp was in one of them?
I'd sure like to know where this leads.
I'm not so sure you do.
Does Huey actually know where this river is going, or is he just saying that because he can see a bit further ahead? What causes them to sink here? How the fuck have they not drowned? I know we don't know exactly how long they were underwater for, but they were pretty far underground when we saw them sink, and they also appear to have moved out of the desert, so they must have moved miles both vertically and horizontally. Were they underwater the whole time?
I wouldn't mind doing it again, now that I know you can live through it.
Hey Louis, just because you survived this time doesn't mean you'd survive again.
At least we're all okay.
Speak for yourself. I just lost the treasure of the century.
That doesn't mean you're not okay, Scrooge. Why did Dijon head back into the tomb? Also, how did Merlock know he would be here? Merlock just assumes not only that Scrooge and his family have escaped, but also that they still have the lamp.
But you did have it for a little while.
Does everyone have to remind me?
Well, you must have told her that in the first place, Scrooge, since she wasn't on the expedition. Webby is going to polish the lamp, eh? Gee, I wonder what's going to happen.
Well, there's nothing in it.
Is the genie invisible when he's in the lamp?
It's a genie, isn't it?
Why is Louis so surprised that a genie came out of a lamp when they rubbed it?
Who are you? Where's Alibaba? Did Rome fall yet?
Does the genie not know how long he's been in the lamp? The genie just assumes all 4 of the kids are his masters, even though only Webby and Huey rubbed the lamp. Why does his egg need to have a dollar sign on it?
You mean the Earth isn't flat?
The idea that people ever believed this is a myth.
I must have missed that part.
Wouldn't there be a ton of things in the encyclopedia involving the Earth being round? So how the fuck could he not have picked up on that?
A genie's supposed to grant wishes.
If you knew about genies granting wishes, you must know about them being inside lamps. So why didn't you think the lamp might have a genie inside it when you first saw it?
Oh, darn. Everybody remembers that part.
Yeah, but you're the one that said all 4 of them were your masters. You could have at least quartered your work by saying only one of them was master.
I got a wish for 1,000,000 wishes.
That never works.
Yeah, but couldn't he just wish for it to work?
I guess one of us ought to wish for peace and happiness all over the world.
Hey, these are wishes, not miracles.
I'm going to take a sin off here for this 27-year-old movie being surprisingly topical.
And I'll end up being buried in the lamp for another 1,000 years.
Isn't that going to happen anyway when everyone has had their wishes?
Hurry, hide the elephant. Oh, yeah. Like where?
Couldn't you just wish for it to be hidden or for it to turn invisible or something? I kind of feel bad for Huey having to waste a wish undoing one of Webby's, especially since Webby has 2 more wishes at this point. Scrooge thinks a chair moving out of his study is an indication that Mrs. Beakley might have seen an elephant in there. Jeannie stands on a skateboard while hiding because reasons. Said skateboard then starts moving on its own because different reasons. If the 4 kids get 3 wishes each, and we've seen Webby and Huey both make 1 wish already, Huey makes another in this scene, Dewey makes 1 in the next scene, and we're told after that that only Louie and Webby have 1 wish left each. That means the kids have accumulated all this stuff from just 6 wishes! Neither Mrs. Beakley or Duckworth questioned Scrooge's abrupt change of tune towards his nephews.
Oh, no thanks, Uncle Scrooge. We're kind of full.
Scrooge doesn't think to question how the kids can be full when they've been out all day. Why does the genie just assume this owl is Merlock? With that said, the genie becomes convinced that it isn't Merlock when he's told it's an owl. But since he knows Merlock can shapeshift into animals, it's not inconceivable that the owl could have been Merlock.
Because he has a magic talisman. And when he puts it on the lamp, he gets as many wishes as he wants.
But why?
Well, maybe we should wish for the talisman.
Oh, that's the one wish I can't do.
There actually seem to be a lot of wishes you can't do. Why doesn't Merlock shapeshift into something small enough to get through the letterbox more easily?
Oh, cancel Launchpad.
Movie teases us with the hint of more Launchpad, only to take it away almost immediately.
I read all about it. Can I be the guy who dresses like an Indian and throws the tea off the boat?
He read about the Boston Tea Party protest, but he never read anything about the world being round? Okay, seriously, Merlock, this would be the perfect time to change into something else. This Tea Party scene represents exactly why the character of Webby sucked the big one. Hopefully the Mabel clone in the new series will be better. I'm with you, Jeannie, that this was a dumb idea for a wish, but really you've only got yourself to blame for giving her the idea in the first place. We interrupt this movie to bring you Shaun the Sheep.
But I've only got 1 wish left.
But Louis, you're literally the only person with any wishes left at all. What other option is there?
I wish everything was back to normal.
Isn't Louis's choice of words here kind of open to interpretation? How exactly do you define normal? I'm not sure the idea that Louis's wish basically killed a bunch of living creatures would even have occurred to me were it not for this moment right here.
Does his mother know about this?
I didn't understand this line when I first saw this movie over 20 years ago, and I still don't understand it now. Scrooge just assumes he is now the genie's master. Merlock could quite easily overpower Scrooge and take the lamp off him here if he had just changed back to human form.
A genie isn't a person. A genie is a thing.
That's racist. Everyone leaves the house at the same time just so Dijon can sneak inside. The genie is able to leave the lamp without Scrooge rubbing it. Why does Merlock follow Scrooge to this party where there is a crowd of people and he'll be harder to find? Why not just wait it out at the mansion where he could probably ambush him as soon as he comes home?
You shall go through the rear entrance while I go in the front.
Merlock thinks this is a good time to discuss his and Dijon's sexuality. Being a genie apparently gives you superhuman strength.
Where are we?
I don't really understand why Scrooge couldn't figure this out for himself.
All I want is a life of my own.
Is being a genie not a life? I know you've got to grant people's wishes every now and again, but aside from that, what's so bad about it? Scrooge looks both ways when exiting this room, but then doesn't look where he's going coming around the corner. There just happens to be another oil lamp on this trolley purely to cause a mix-up. We see later in this scene that Dijon was only planning to give the lamp to Merlock, so is there really any reason why he rubs it here?
But you see, with the lamp, you'll be the big cheese.
Why couldn't Dijon figure this out for himself?
Don't bother landing.
Seems a bit pointless saying that when he's a foot off the ground, Scrooge.
Whose name do you think is on this building? Dijon. It really is his.
I'm surprised Scrooge didn't notice this when Launchpad was flying him towards it. Also, did the S on the money bin really stand for Scrooge? It wasn't just a dollar sign?
I'll pay you all back with cash at the mansion.
Since Scrooge already knows Dijon has taken his money bin, why wouldn't it occur to him that he might have taken his mansion as well?
If only there was a way to sneak in and get back the lamp. But there's so many alarms.
But no security cameras, apparently.
Don't worry about Merlock.
he would not dare to confront the great and powerful Dijon.
Why not? He wasn't afraid to confront Scrooge. Shouldn't Launchpad be an employee of Dijon's now?
C A S H.
That's really all you have to do to break into the bin? Just key in 4 letters? Not to mention, it's a combination that you could easily guess. How are there spiders in this vent? They would have to be super small to get in. You know, Louis, just because the instructions have been cut in half doesn't mean you can't still read them. This actually seemed like a much safer way to shut off the alarm system. Why didn't they just do this in the first place? Scrooge opened the metal door with his walking stick. Merlock, just shapeshift into something that can press that button. We interrupt this movie to bring you the first Mission Impossible movie. I don't really know why Merlock didn't do this earlier. He's so much bigger than the other 3, he could easily have overpowered them.
My talisman now gives me unlimited wishes, Scrooge.
Yeah, but why? Why do you basically have the magic lamp equivalent of a cheat cartridge? I mean, the genie actually said earlier on that wishing for unlimited wishes doesn't work. So why does it work for you if you put the talisman on there? Is it just because he's evil and evil guys have all the power?
I wish you would turn this disloyal swine into something fitting.
Another wish that's open to interpretation. Why is this alarm going off? Is there a special transforming into an evil-looking castle alarm for Scrooge's money bin?
I wish to return home in my new home.
Wouldn't it be easier to just wish to be teleported there instantly and have the genie create the castle there?
I wish you would cast him out of my house.
Why didn't you wish for that earlier instead of waiting till you were up in the air? Again, if you just had him teleport you there, you wouldn't have this problem. Good thing they can all breathe in space. After all the build-up to Merlock trying to get the lamp, he actually only has it for 6 minutes of movie time. I mean, it was pretty terrifying for what it was, but it was also pretty brief. Also, even with his unlimited wishes, Merlock only ended up making 4 wishes. I could sin this for being the villain dies from falling cliché, except Merlock is immortal. So instead, I'm going to sin the fact that we know he isn't dead, and that just makes me more depressed that this movie didn't get a sequel. In fact, he seemed like the perfect candidate to bring back in a certain reboot series. If you catch my drift.
I'm going to stop all this magic, even if I have to wish for the lamp to be buried in the center of the earth.
Well then, couldn't you just wish for the magic to stop?
I wish the genie would turn into a real boy.
Damn, Disney, what's with the self-plagiarism? And don't even get me started on that movie that came out just 2 years after this.
Now I can do all the things real boys do. Run through fields, play catch, roll over.
You couldn't do those things before? The lamp disintegrates and we see Dijon turn back into a human, or dog, or whatever he is, suggesting that because the lamp is disintegrating, all the lamp's wishes are now being undone. But the only reason the lamp is disintegrating is because of a wish. How did Dijon climb the ladder with his pants full of coins? You have more than 4 minutes of end credits and you can't even give us the full version of the theme song? See, that's the real reason the movie didn't make enough money to warrant a sequel.
Such a crick in the neck!
Whose name do you think is on this building? It really is his.
I don't have control, Jack. Oh, then I got a problem. Cut the power. Cut the power. Jack.